Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, on the Wednesday afternoon edition of Sean Almost Has His Voice Back. We're doing okay today. I got my drink handy. I may cough and hack a few times, but please excuse me. And yes, I have a lot of layers on. We're looking a little bulky today, but that's okay. Today we're gonna peel the curtain back. It's a very popular question. It's a question I have to answer all the time. It's how much does a transmission cost? Well, sit down. It's going to take a minute. This is also the first video on the new, to me, phone. It's a refurbished iPhone X. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how the quality is going to come out. I haven't made any adjustments. I'm hoping the microphone's better than the last one I had. So the transmission we're going to talk about, my favorite, the Turbo 400. I have a video out there. It's called a recipe for your 800 to 1,000 horsepower Turbo 400. And it is your standard build. That's where we're going to start today. It has all the prep work that I would do to a normal case. You know, drill and tap the vent, deburr everything, chase the holes. It's going to have a rollarized output. It's going to have a billet forward hub, a nice trans brake, probably an ATD, good clutches and steels of whatever quantity we discuss, whatever piston type we have, probably aluminum. Just a solid piece that is going to have everything you need up till about that range. Now, of course, everybody wants a magic number. Everybody wants a lot of information. What they don't want to do is completely understand what they're asking for. So that's what these videos are for, to try to help. You know, 800 to 1,000, that's, your results may vary depending on how much torque you have, how much weight you have, how much traction you have. So obviously, the Turbo 400 is a very stout unit, and that's a good transmission to start with. So we're going to talk money in January 2023 dollars. As you well know, nothing has gone down in price lately. So the prices I'm giving you may be low. Check with your local guy if you can. If you have a local transmission guy, you're better off, because everything we talk about starting at the base transmission, we just talked about the 800 to 1,000 horsepower transmission. Everything we talk about, if you're not buying local, you have to add a core charge and truck freight on top of it to get it to your house. So that's probably $600 to $800 right off the top. Well, added on to the top, I should say. So factor that in. Most people don't. They say, well, I saw one online for $25. I'll just buy that. Well, go ahead. So starting with the base transmission, 800 to 1,000, an excellent place to start. Everything we add, we're going to add to that. I don't know if you can read this. I hope you can. That base transmission, $2,500-ish, because we have to negotiate a core. If you're bringing a core, if your core is any good, that needs to be factored in there, and will be no matter where you go. Nobody's going to probably give you one for free. If they do, good for them. The next popular item, which I've added, is an SFI bellhousing added onto your core. And I put $750 because that's kind of a safe number. It's quite a bit of labor. The bellhousing's $400-ish by itself, plus I buy gaskets to do it. And it's pretty labor intensive. There's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it. And that same price is what I would charge if you brought me a whole transmission. I was just putting a bellhousing on it. So that's $750 to add a bellhousing. If you have an 8-bolt case, great. If you want to run a 6 or 7-bolt, you can. We've discussed that at least 100 times. So that is not a factor in today's discussion. So now you want to step it up a little bit. You want to put input shaft, which includes the forward drum, and a main shaft, and potentially an output shaft. Now the output shaft in the Turbo 400 is mighty stout, optional whether you want to or not, but if you're putting just 2 shafts in, you got to add $1,000 onto this by the time you secure the forward drum with the larger input 300M and the 300M main shaft. That's a good round number, adding $1,000. You've also increased your rating to probably in the 12 to 1500 horsepower range. Next addition kind of goes hand in hand with this, so I kind of adjusted the price accordingly. If you went with aluminum drums and the 36 element Pro Mod Sprague, this transmission had a 34 element, and that'll get you a long ways. But at this point, we're going up in horsepower level, so we're going to add a couple $1,000s onto that. Now, if you add these together, I haven't done it yet, but I'm very curious and want to try the Sonex drum module. That's over 3,000 plus. We're already there. And that is supposed to solve a lot of problems. So that is on my agenda, probably when I build myself a good transmission. I hate to do this, but I have to jump back to the SFI bell installation. For the low price of $750, I have to strip the transmission 100% to install one. I will not do it any other way. There's way too much debris generated in trial fitting. I have to have the pump in and out. If you want to try it any other way, you're on your own. If you bring it here, I'm going to strip your transmission 100%. So we're also going to get a look at it and probably have to fix stuff. Who knows? So, now we're down here. Aftermarket case. Now I put Reed case. If you want to spend your money wisely, that's what you're going to buy. If you bought your SFI bell housing wisely and bought a BTE, you can take the adapter ring off and that SFI bell housing will now fit the Reed case, thus saving a little money. It's the only brand that'll do that. There are other aftermarket housings available out there. You're almost to the point of buying a Reed, and that has resale value. So that's what I wrote down today. And a Reed case does not come with all the park mechanism that you need to build the transmission. That adds about another $150 on an already expensive case, and then add the Reed SFI bell housing if you don't already have one that'll interchange. You're adding $2,500 for an aftermarket case. And that's just the way it is. But of course, you will be saving money, not having to have a safety shield and a flex plate shield. Life will be good. Last item, at least on the list, is if you want to change the ratio from anything from a 248 first gear, 148 second gear. That's stock Turbo 400. If you want to go anything else, you just spent $2,500. Now, beware. I have to put out a universal beware statement of everything we've talked about. There are some cheap parts out there. If you look at the part number, it'll probably start with PCE. If you want to buy that stuff, give it a try. I don't know many people that'll even dare to try. You're going to spend, for instance, I was looking at their gear sets. They're about $1,600 to $1,800 for their gear set. Or you can buy a Cone or somebody else for about $2,500. So, let the buyer beware on that one. Excuse me. I had to stop and take a sip of iced tea. That was a bad one. So, where's the profit in this? I can tell you right now, on the initial transmission, if your builder made $400 to cover, he didn't make it, to cover his labor. This is all bare bones. This is essentially what it is going to cost me to build a transmission. Again, I don't manufacture parts, so there's no break. You know, I don't get this gear set for cost. I have to pay the profit. There's very little added on here. So I'm actually doing a disservice to transmission guys if they charge more than this. Good for them. It's funny, my furnace man, every time he shows up, he's here for half an hour and he charges me $400. I stand at the bench for 3 days and might make that. So that's just bad on me, I guess. I got a message the other day, Sunday. A man wants a transmission. 2,000 horsepower rated for a Coyote Mustang, Turbo 400, wants an aftermarket ratio set, wants a Reed case. Well, I can just tell you off the top of my head, and my immediate response is, are you aware that's probably a $9,000 or $10,000 transmission? Well, he was upset. He can go online and get a level 3 Series 2 Stage 5 transmission for $3,000. Go ahead. I didn't get pissy. I said, feel free to send me whatever specs you're buying and I'll tell you how that's not what you want. And if you can really get it for that, hell, I'll buy one too. But armed with this knowledge, you can look through all the series and levels and whatever each manufacturer, how they list it. They have to list it that way because that's the way people want it presented to them, like a menu. So if you read between the lines, these are the basic steps to get to a horsepower level that you are trying to harness. So I hope you got something out of this video. And my voice is just about done, so I'm gonna give up. You can't see how many times I've had to abort the video. I'm gonna call it good. Have a good one. Talk to you in a few days.